So there's a behind-the-scenes video feature that came out recently for Top Gun Maverick, really taking you behind the scenes of what Tom Cruise and the rest of the crew did to prepare to film in the fighter pilots, the fighter jets that they are using in Top Gun Maverick. One thing that Tom Cruise is known for is when it comes to stunts, whenever it comes to doing something dangerous, really putting himself in the point of danger, doing the stunts. Famously, he did the halo jump like over 50 times to practice in order to do it for Mission Impossible. He was hanging outside of a plane for one of the Mission Impossible movies. He really pushes the envelope to get as much realism in the stunts as possible and really make it so that whenever you're seeing those stunts done, you see that it's him doing it. They famously had to stop production on one Mission Impossible movie because in a jump that he did from one building to another, I think he sprained his ankle or maybe he broke his ankle, but it put them weeks behind. But it was because he was saying that in order for the movie to reach a higher level of entertainment, he has to be the one that is actually doing the stunt because it informs the performance, it informs how people are experiencing all of those sequences and makes it so much more dramatic. So I would say check out the featurette because it takes you through like seeing some of what they're able to achieve by actually putting the actors in these fighter jets, actually getting some of these shots where you're seeing the actors in the plane and the plane is actually going through these massive structures. It's exciting to see that we're going to get a movie that puts the action, it gives so much detail to the action, and the actors are willing to go the extra mile of putting themselves, I don't know how much danger they were actually in, but clearly they're putting themselves through huge stress, and not everyone is going to have the nerve to go through that to act in a movie. They were actually showing how the actors have to actually start and frame up the cameras because they're in such tight quarters in these cockpits that it's insane kind of what it is that they're going through, the training they went through to get this done. The really only point that I wanted to make with this, I think this is a great proof that you get whenever you go the extra mile when it comes to dangerous elements of film production, it increases the quality of the movie. And the reason I bring this up, with the Alec Baldwin shooting that happened back in October, a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of pundits pretty much rushed to the conclusion that the only way that we are going to make things better going forward is that we have to remove firearms from sets. From now on, we've got to CGI bullets. We've got to make sure that there's not actually any possibility that anything could ever go wrong on the set again. And if that option wants to be made for productions, I think it should. I mean, obviously, that is made for productions. People like Dwayne Johnson were saying, from now on, we're not using any firearms on our sets or anything like that. And I think that while obviously people should have that as an option, I don't think that's a good idea to make it as the standard. Take the directors that are seen as kind of the greatest that we have today. Denis Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan. I would say Tom Cruise is one of the best producers because when it comes to action movies, they create these situations where the actors have to actually put themselves in the situations that, it is dangerous. But on the other end, and I mean Christopher Nolan and Villeneuve and Ridley Scott, because they're actually creating physical sets. They're creating situations where the actors have to be involved with what is actually going on the screen. They're removing so many barriers that people use, like green screens and CGI and things like that. They're removing that to actually put the actors in a physical environment. I think that there is something that you lose whenever you say, hey, let's just CGI the firearms from now on. I understand that a lot of people felt that that's kind of the best way to make sure that nothing bad ever happens again. But in reality, I think if you want to make sure that bad things don't happen, you have to follow the protocol all the way through, which was not done on the Rust shooting. Pretty much the point is, I don't like that people call to CGI everything all the time. I think that people that want to go the extra mile in jumping out of the planes and flying the fighter jets and using firearms with blanks, I think that you are actually giving yourself an extra boost in credibility, an extra boost in reality. You're making something that is more realistic, much more visceral. I think something better than people that want to CGI and animate everything. In the end, you're not going to be able, no actor is able to really act the way that you would be able to if you put them in a fighter jet, if they're actually getting the recoil from a firearm. That's not to say that these are not dangerous situations. They are, and you need to be careful. But I think that the people who are careful and go the extra mile of making things as real as possible will end up putting out a better product than people that want to animate everything and green screen everything. And I think that's the directors that we laud and put out the best product are great because they go that extra step. I think in a way it's a little cowardly and lazy, but hey, it's fine also. If people want to go that route, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Do that. Just be responsible if you're going to go the extra mile. I wanted to bring this up because I loved that featurette. I loved that was an example of a movie saying, look, we're doing dangerous things and we're being careful about it, but we're doing it because it's going to create a better movie. I think that's a great point to make, and I think that in the eye of what everyone was talking about with the Rush shooting, it's important to keep that in mind. Be careful, but also be willing to push the envelope. I think that makes for better movies. Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts. Is it not true? Is it better? Like, hey, it's just, maybe for some people they see extra there and they get a little extra boost. But in reality, these are movies. It doesn't matter. What are your feelings on that? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And also, be sure to subscribe to 5 Minute Critic for future updates on reviews and movie news.